Hello everyone, I am Achal Pancheswar from Ideal Public School, Chandori. Friends, as we are suffering through a critical situation due to lockdown and bad effect of coronavirus COVID-19. Dear students, due to lockdown and the bad effect of coronavirus, we are going to study through online. Dear students, today I have taken your first book, First Flight, chapter 1st, A Letter to God. Before starting the chapter, I would like to introduce you about the characters of this chapter. Lenko, who is a farmer. There is a woman who is his wife, and a postmaster. From post office. Now, the theme of this chapter is faith in God. So, my students, there is only one house in this entire valley which is set on the crest of a low hill. From this height, if one could see the river and the field of ripe corn dotted with flowers that always promise to a good harvest. The only thing the earth needed was downpour or slightly rain. Throughout the morning, Lenko, who knew very well about his field, and he looked at the northeast towards the sky. He thinks that and tells to his wife, really they are going to get good crops. There is only single need, that is of slight rainfall. And there are two older boys who are working in the field, while the small ones are playing near the house. When they are playing, the woman called them for dinner. It was during the meal, just as Lenko had predicted, as Lenko said, and suddenly the big drops of rain started to fall. And in the northeast, huge mountain of clouds could be seen coming towards the valley. The air was fresh and sweet. The man went out for no other reason than to have pleasure of feeling the rain on his body. That means Lenko wants to feel the natural beauty through the raindrops. When he returned, he exclaimed to his family members, "These are not raindrops falling from the sky. They are new coins. The big drops are of 10-cent pieces and the little ones are 5. With a satisfied expression, he regarded the field of ripe corn with its flowers. Actually, the field is covered with rain. But that is not a rain. That is of ice pieces, which is taken the shape of 10 cent and some of are of 5 cents. Suddenly, a strong wind started to blow, and along with the rain, very large hailstone began to fall. These truly did resemble new silver coins. The boys are also exposing themselves to feel the raindrop. They ran outside to collect the frozen pearls. It's really getting bad now because Lanko, who had dreamt that he would get the bumper crops, his labor goes west. Not a leaf remained on the trees. The corn was totally destroyed. The flowers were gone from the plants. Lanko's soul was filled with sadness. When the storm had passed, he stood in the middle of the field and said to his sons, "A plague of locusts would have left more than this." It means the insects had destroyed the crops completely. There was nothing, there was no leaf in the field. That year, he said sorrowfully that they will get nothing. They will have to go hungry this year. But in the heart of all, as a human being who lived in that solitary house, in the middle of the valley, there was a single hope, and that was help from God. He said to his family members, "Don't to be upset." That's why they say no one dies of hunger. That means his all family members say no one dies from hunger. Lanko thought only of his one hope. Do you know what is that hope? And that is the hope, help of God, whose eyes, as he had been instructed, see everything, even what is deep in one's conscience. Lanko was very laborious. He was working like an animal in the fields, but he knew how to write. He knew how to write. The following Sunday, as soon as it gets daybreak, he began to write a letter to God himself, and he would carry that letter himself to the post office. He wrote on the letter, "God, if you do not help me, my family and I will go hungry this year. I need 100 pesos in order to sow my field again and to live until the crop comes. Because the hailstorm has destroyed the entire field." He wrote to God on the envelope and put the letters inside and went to the town at the post office. He placed a stamp on the letters and dropped it into the mailbox. One of the employees who was working in the post office, who was a postman and also helped at the post office, went to his boss laughing heartily and showed him the letter to God. Because it was the first time that a person had written a letter to God. That is why the postman and the other employees were laughing at Lanko. Never in his career as a postman he knew that address. The postmaster, who was fatty, very friendly nature and helpful nature. To listen this, he broke out laughing, but almost he became serious. Tapping the letter on desk, he commented, "What faith! I wish I had the faith of the man who wrote this letter." Because Lanko had faith in God. And to see the faith in God of Lanko, he was also surprised, shocked. Starting up a correspondence with God. So in order not to shake the writer's faith in God, actually he wanted to confirm the faith of Lanko in God. The postmaster in the beginning who had loved, later on he became serious. The postmaster came up with an idea. The idea was to answer the letter, because he knew very well God is not going to reply him. So instead of God, he wrote a letter in return. But when he opened it, it was evident that to answer it, he needed something more than goodwill, ink and paper. But he stuck to his resolution. He asked for money from his employees, because he did not want to shake the faith of Lenko in God. So he collected some amount, some rupees from his employees to help Lenko. It was impossible for him to gather together the 100 pesos, because Lenko had demanded for 100 pesos.